Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights Rant. And for this particular episode, I have a very special guest. Very special. Wow, that's a great start. From all the way on the other side of the globe, across the pond, I have Don't Be a Hero podcast. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the episode. I have Forrest and I have Matt. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hi. It's great to be here.
It's great having you guys here. It's glad to do the flip this time around. You guys coming to my side.
Yeah.
After two great back-to-back episodes about Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And I look forward to waiting 2 years to get onto Deadpool 3.
God, let's hope it's not delayed, right?
Could you imagine? Yeah, they just announced 2045 will be Deadpool 3. So it'll be good. We wanted 20 years and we can't wait.
The funny thing is you say that, but it has been delayed. It was delayed because of Blade already.
It
got pushed back.
True. That is so true. Yeah, we could be waiting a long while. Who knows?
It's a terrible thing. It's going to be 32 or 31 when it finally drops, and that's going to already making me feel old. So what we're going to do for this episode, everybody, is we're going to look at Wakanda Forever. We're going to have a snapshot of Phase 4. Now it's all wrapped up. And we're also going to look at the latest Marvel special, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Holiday Special, which only dropped about 48 hours ago as we're recording. So I can't wait to talk about that. But before we get into it, guys, please tell me, for everyone who's listening in, tell us about your podcast. And, you can pump it out as much as you want.
No self-promotion. Come on, Lee. We are no self-promotion, but I've definitely gone to town and put a t-shirt on.
Where do I start?
What a little piece of pie this is. Don't Be a Hero podcast. We are just we call ourselves two average guys. Matt's far from average, a bit of a prick. But, no.
I'm the trick here.
Yeah, straight in with the jugular there. We have started all the way back with the very first Iron Man. And we're going through all of the Marvel films, MCU, in order. Mm-hmm. We are currently doing a couple of wild cards. We're going a little bit crazy for Christmas, but I think the next one, so we just finished Black Panther.
Black Panther was the last one we did, yeah.
It was the last one, and then so we're waiting for Infinity War, Lee. So it's a big one next, mate.
Oh, I can't wait for you guys to do Infinity War. Can't wait.
Oh, I'm going to get emotional again. I'm going to go through all of these emotions. I don't know if my body's ready for it. I'm just okay, but it's so good. I can't wait. But we've been having such a great time going through the movies again, and as well, it's not only just fun going through the movies, but it's also a bit of a nostalgic thing as well. So just being able to go back and have the memories that we had, when we did Avengers Assemble, we spoke about kind of. What were you doing on the day when you went and see it? What cinema did you go to? Where were you? How were you feeling? And just bringing back those emotions as well have been really awesome. And something that's resonated as well for our listeners as well, which has been great. It's been awesome.
Oh, that's good to hear, guys. And you're right. The thing is, you're going back and you're seeing these in almost a completely different light, which really scary thinking that, it's been 10 years. Avengers 1 came out, which is terrifying to think of. And I think for myself, I have the Avengers is I think I was just completely gobsmacked for the entire movie that they've actually brought all these characters all together in one movie and they've all had their own franchises and still thinking, holy shit, they did this. And then we get Endgame and that just kind of
Yeah. And now we're at the point where it's and we had this discussion on our Deadpool, which is wonderful, Lee. featured on. Thank you so much for coming on board, mate.
You need to go check it
and
out. You need to go check it out.
It's killer podcast. It's amazing. But I think we were discussing about where the MCU is now, a post Endgame, and where we're looking and how long it's going to be until we get another Avengers film, and therefore has Marvel got enough time to set those foundations, or actually should more of those foundations have been set within the current phase? But we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So I'm leaping ahead, and I apologise there.
No, that's all right. But you guys don't only just do the Marvel movies, like you guys did the Dark Knight as well. Because I was scrolling through and I was like, Dark Knight. Oh fuck! I can't remember what phase this is in, but I'll listen to it.
Well, I think we kind of had to, didn't we? We kind of had to do it because it's one of those landmark superhero movies that changed the game. And funny enough, when we started with Iron Man, it was obviously that came out the same year and around about the same sort of time as Iron Man. And there's this kind of like Dark Knight, Iron Man, which ones you prefer? So as we were doing the first one, we're like, well, at some point we've got to do Dark Knight and talk about it because it really did change the game. And it is, as much as I am a massive Marvel fan, Dark Knight's my all-time favorite, superhero movie. It's just, you can't fault it. Yeah.
No. And I actually, this week, went back and rewatched, and I always forget how long this movie is. This is not a short movie. Going back and watching it.
Yeah. It is so, it's so epic.
Yeah. Worth it every point. And then I still remember watching it and thinking, oh, I can't. Sucks the fact that Heath Ledger passed away because I was really wanted to know what was going to happen in the third one. Like that was the biggest what if, which I think we said that too. That's the biggest what if.
I wonder whether the film would be as immortalized as it is if Heath didn't die. I wonder, the fact that his death was so untimely, it happened around the time of the release as well. There's this kind of feeling that it's obviously naturally been linked to it, and that performance really is iconic. But I wonder what, obviously, the part of the immortalization of the Dark Knight and the people hold it in such high regard is the reason because of Heath died, or is it just a film in its own right?
I think the fact that I think we would still be talking about Heath Ledger's performance to this day, regardless of his death. However, it's like death all the way up here with him passing. Would he have won the Academy Award? I don't know if he would. I don't know about that because we know how the Academy feels about comic book movies.
I wonder if it's so much that that the film would have had more of a legacy, or less of a legacy if he was still alive, or whether I think what would have happened is that it wouldn't be that him being alive would have made it any less of an iconic film. I think what would happen is that because he was alive, he would have been roped into lots of other films. We might have had, I think we would have had a Joker specific film for Heath Ledger. I think we would have had so many spin-offs because he's such good quality that Dark Knight was less iconic because there's too much, other stuff. I think they would have bloated that character.
That's true. Yeah, they could have. Because I think the last thing I remember reading is that Christopher Nolan mentioned a number 3 to Heath Ledger a few weeks prior, and Heath Ledger was like, "Oh yeah, that would be interesting to do." But yeah, the Dark Knight different. But then you're right. Yeah. Would there have been the Joker movie with Heath Ledger instead?
I think there would have been, because I don't think we would have. The reason why we had the whole Jared Leto, so many different Jokers, is because they were, in my opinion, they were trying to recapture that love within what we had for Dark Knight. I think they were trying to recapture that. So naturally, if we would have had Heath, they wouldn't have had to do that. And I think, but they would have overused him, and I think it would have just been there would have been so many different films, and maybe even, dare I say it, DC might have gone, oh brilliant, we could make our own MCU. Like, just I think Heath was that good that they would have been like, yeah, and I think it would have just ruined the Dark Knight, because I think it would have just been too bloated. They would have made it too big.
Oh,
but you think as well, Christopher Nolan as a director has always such a clear vision on what he wants to do, and he's very precious about his direction and the way it's perceived by an audience. I couldn't see Christopher Nolan doing any more than those 3 movies. Like that trilogy in its own right is perfect in terms of storytelling and narrative wise, and the way it's been shot and the way it was packaged. But like, yeah, like, God, could you imagine like if DC somehow convinced him to go and do another 5 movies? It would just dilute everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, there's plenty that they could have done. They could have, because Joker, there's lots of other characters they could have brought in that would have, been with Joker or whatever. So I think there would have been some fun films. And I think, to be honest, probably would have covered what they're covering now, right? It would, like, Joker
eventually.
Yeah. Am I right? Joker 2 is going to feature like a lot of people in Arkham Asylum, right?
Harley Quinn playing by Lady Gaga.
That's the same I feel about that. Like, just because we've seen it, right, Lee? We've seen it. Like, we've already seen Harley Quinn on the movies loads of times, and we're gonna get. It's just a regurgitated story arc.
I know. And look, I'm pretty sure I said on a previous episode, if they did not make a sequel to the Joker movie, I would not be disappointed. Everyone I've spoken to is like, no, it's such a good, well-contained story. On from there, yeah, they are making it, and apparently the rumor is there's partially a musical as well. And I'm like, oh God, who the fuck greenslit this? Like, who looks there and goes, that's a great idea. That's fantastic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, did you not know that?
Musical.
Yeah, that's why they got Lady Gaga. Oh. That's why they've done it, mate. Is so that she can come in and do a little Lady Gaga tune.
Wow.
And it's black. For me, I think they're going to sell it on the basis. So the original Joker, what was great about it, so it was R-rated, right? And it was kind of, the equivalent of Deadpool, but they could get away with it. They could do a Joker thing instead, right? Yeah. So I think, my mind, I think we're kind of going. I think we're getting to the point where they're like, right, because Lady Gaga, she's done American Horror Story. She's done, she can play that type of. Yeah, play that type of character because let's be honest, Harley Quinn is overtly sexualized, overtly about their dynamic, right? Their whole dynamic. Joker and Harley Quinn is about, No, Lee? No?
Yeah, I didn't know
but yeah, and I think that's their kind of like I suppose Lady Gaga's not, not afraid to shy away from, that kind of a big character like that, right? So I think but I don't know where this musical element's coming from. Lady Gaga, Joker, R-rated. I can see where they're going with it. People are going to get bums on seats, whatever. Musical, no thanks. No thank you.
And I fully agree with you. I don't know where that comes from. Like, why would you want that? And what do you think how do you think the audience is going to be receptive? And unfortunately, I don't know if James Gunn's going to be able to do anything about it because they gritlit the movie before he came on board. So, DC's still in fucking shambles. Apparently, I was reading this morning that apparently even though we got the cameo of Henry Cavill at the end of Black Adam, spoiler alert, he's still not onto a contract or nothing. There's been nothing after that. There's nothing on the table.
So just shoehorned in for an extra thing for people to talk about. Lovely.
Yeah, that's it. But let's move back away from the shit universe that's still in shambles. And let's talk about something that just came out, which is made a shit ton of money and is probably one of the most saddest movies of Phase 4 and made a guy with wings on his feet seem cool. What were your guys' thoughts on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever?
Oh gosh. I think I asked you, Lee, in our pods to give us like one word to describe the movie without any spoilers, and you said emotional, and it really is. It's amazing. It is amazing. Like it's definitely the best film out of Phase 4 by a long shot. But it just has everything. Obviously, the passing with Chadwick, obviously it played an integral role, obviously, in the fact of it's driving the new narrative, I suppose, and it being unapologetically about a tribute to him. And that's what I love about the movie. It's that not only does it stand alone as a really good story, but it is also a beautiful send-off for Chadwick, and it's a beautiful send-off for T'Challa as well. And the way it was sort of paced, it never felt too long. No scene felt overly labored. The content was great. The sequences were brilliant. The fight scenes were amazing. It just had everything. It had everything for me, and yeah, it was emotional.
I told you that's the biggest word I could said that movie from start to finish. Just you're still like shit. Forrest?
It's that silence, isn't it? In the opening, when they did the Marvel ident, like it's just the wind. You hear a whistle. It just hits you like a ton of bricks.
That was deafening. I had like 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds in the cinema, and they were shits for the rest of the movie. But that one bit, they were throwing food, and one kept using the seat up and down because they were powered recliners. And that one,
mate.
Oh god!
Like that's what they were like.
No.
But they were completely quiet for that scene. I've never heard a more deafening Marvel intro, except for that scene. And
I think it was the same with us, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, and I think one of the things I would say about the film, I think they were brave. I think it was brave and bold. Not just that moment. I think the whole film. There were various moments. One of the things that I would immediately say is that what I thought was quite brave is that they went for there were bits where it was genuinely like quite scary. Like I remember me and Matt were looking at each other like fucking the bit where they're like diving down in the sea, and I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, no, because I'm like, I hate jumpy films, right? I hate jump scares, and that whole scene, you're literally like, what the fuck is about to kick off? I can't watch this, but I want to watch it. I have to.
Yeah. How creepy is it? I was like, okay, which word? That's fine. And then the submariners start.
Yeah.
And they're one by one in the water, and then they start slowly killing themselves off. Like that has to be one of the best intros to a villain in the MCU. Period.
1000%.
I think it is. I think that is my favorite entrance. I can't think of a better villain. Like I think that for me is the atmosphere and the singing as well.
It's eerie, isn't it?
It's kicking off.
Oh, excuse me.
But honestly, it was actually insane. Like, that whole scene. Because I don't know about you two, but when I'm watching a film, whoever I'm watching it with, I feel like it's a joint experience, right? And for me, I like to be reassured that I'm feeling what other people are feeling. So when I was pooping my pants, it's poo pant time. during that scene. I just turned around to Matt like, please tell me he's feeling the same. And Matt was literally like looking at me like,
literally.
it's so good.
But like the scariest moment for me, it was the bit when they went into Wakanda and then they just ended up just grabbing people from the boats and the sides and just bringing them down.
Oh.
I was like, what is this? How are they like? It was, yeah. I think I would have. I think obviously because in terms of the movie, like to see them be the big bad for future movies would be nice to see. So whether we do get that or not, I don't know. But like, it's just really, it was just a brilliant setup, you know, for them. It was great.
It really did, and like for a launching pad for Namor into the MCU was done perfectly. Ryan Coogler, what he's done with that character, like that's the thing is the whole movie. There was so much to juggle between you're just introducing this brand new nation, this new bad guy that's been around for forever. Chadwick Boseman's death, moving the characters forward, a new Black Panther, but he nailed all of it. And then Namor, like there was one line that was so like I was like, oh, was when he comes out from the water and sees, and he's like, I have more soldiers than you have of fleets of grass on your nation. And like, fuck. Like, shit. Because you got to think of it like, of course, because Earth is 3/4 water. But even then, you still don't, you know, the whole thing is that he's just threatening because we didn't see him in the opening scene. He was blacked out. You didn't see him in that massive death scene. But how, like, did you, for a guy that was flying around on winged feet, do you find him like threatening, or you're like,
100%? I found him threatening just in terms of the performance. I think it's really difficult when you see a man flying with tiny wings on his heels. You go, is that threatening? No, but his performance is. Do you know what I mean? Like his the way and again, it's the way it's shot, the way he delivers it. But like, apparently he's stronger than Thor, isn't he? He's got like kind of the strength of
stronger than the Hulk,
Thor or something like that. Stronger than Hulk, like, and they show that. They show that in the movie, and as well in that first sequence when he absolutely takes out that helicopter with absolute ease. It's just madness. I think he does a brilliant job, and I think there's kind of rumors that he will get a standalone movie or something, but there's kind of rights issues, I think.
Yeah,
with Universal.
I didn't know that. Apparently same rule as Hulk. Can't do a standalone movie because Universal owns the rights to Namor, which I don't get why they still have rights, because I'm surely that has to relapse, because I know with X-Men, Fox had to produce a movie every 4 to 5 years, or they automatically went back to Marvel. That's why Sony had to reboot Spider-Man again.
So what I read on it, and problem is there's so much shit out there, so you're having to filter through like what's fact and what's fiction and what some idiots just put up and go, oh yeah, this is correct info. No, it isn't, mate. You're just shouting from your bunker, full of shit. But from what I gather is that so Universal hold the distribution rights, right, for these characters, not necessarily the rights in order to create content. So what the issue is that Marvel, Disney, they could do it. They can do a Hulk film, but all of the money for distribution would go straight to Universal. So they would lose. So the money, I think, it's financially wouldn't be in the right position for them to be. So there's got, I think, so yeah, because that's why Universal don't have the same issue that oh my god, who did you just say? Fox. Yeah. So that is it, Fox. So they don't have to. They don't have to release anything because they're not there to release content. They're there to get they're there to distribute the films. So that's why no one will go near them to use those characters, because they're just going to hemorrhage money. But of course, I could be wrong, and I'm sure people out there will correct me as soon as I am. But that's what my knowledge tells me. My sources tell me, Lee.
My
My sources, yeah, people in the underground, people on Reddit.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like when you say it like that, that makes sense why they don't have the same issue as Sony and Fox. To buy Universal. Universal haven't got anything else as a good moneymaker right now. Like how much longer can they milk Fast and Furious?
That's very true.
I don't think we're far away from that. I think
No.
Disney they're gonna take over the world, mate. Honestly, they will take it.
Yeah, anything for the mouse.
Yeah, but I think we are getting to a very sorry, just click what you just said then. But yeah, genius. But I think we are getting to a point where I'm gonna go away from this to come back to this. But at the moment there is a big fight going on about Activision, right? So Call of Duty. It's all about Call of Duty games. Now, the issue being that Xbox are looking to buy Activision, right? And they're looking to buy Call of Duty. Now, the issue is Sony are going, or for PlayStation, they're going, well, hang on a fucking minute. We haven't got a game anywhere near as good as Call of Duty. That's gonna hemorrhage our player base, hemorrhage our finances. This is not good for competition, right? Healthy competition. So there are various different courts across the globe who I know the UK are actually quite forefront with this about challenging Microsoft and going, well, actually, we don't think this creates fair competition by you acquiring Activision. So I think that for that alone could be a massive thing, because if that does get held up, or if there's issues with that, that will have ramifications for other stuff, such as Disney doing exactly the same thing.
And you're right. Like I think it was in the space of 2 months or even just a month, Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard, and then Sony bought, I think, Bungie. I think they bought. And I remember reading both articles. I'm like, huh. Well, Sony, you really got the win for that, didn't you? They got the consolation prize. Ooh, you got Bungie. Ooh, wow. Like you got a. What is it? Fuck. What's the Destiny? I'm like, ooh, you got Destiny. Well done.
Player base of 100. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Ages ago, me and my mates, we went to E3 in America, and we silly enough waited in line to go play the new time. And just a screen above us was showing all the promotional material for all the new DLC and everything. And one was a Destiny 2 ad. Yet I think maybe Destiny paid more money, so it kept repeating every third or fourth time on the ad. So by the time we finished the line to go play Call of Duty, we could completely recite the entire Destiny DLC ad in our heads, word for word.
It's clever.
I was like, it was like so annoying. And when it came out, we're like, not playing it.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. Like the last I heard about the Sony and Activision was that all current deals were going to be seen out. It's after that's creating the biggest argument.
Yeah.
Because Fallout.
Fallout, mate. If Sony not getting the next Fallout is just going to be, well, because it's happened, right? Because that's Bethesda. I can never pronounce it. Fucking Bethesda. Bethesda.
Bethesda, isn't it?
Bethesda, yeah. I do the same thing. I'm like, couldn't you pick a normal name?
But Tudor? What? Yeah, but
the company that makes AAA games are buggy as shit.
They got Fallout. But yes, I think that's going to be a massive. That will be a massive loss to not have that. And as a PlayStation gamer, it'd be really sad. Up the PlayStation. But yeah, sad days.
It will be. I'm currently right now. I'm going through God of War, which I'm like, thank fuck this is our own PlayStation.
Oh mate. I am rushing through the 2018 game in order to be able to play Ragnarok, because I played like a certain amount of the first game, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. Jump back into it. I was like, fucking hell, this is brilliant.
It is.
And now I'm just churning it through just to get to Ragnarok.
On this mission, Nato time. Let's go.
Yeah, fuck the side missions. I'm going straight in. Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm grafting. Yeah. Come on, Atreus. Shoot.
Just get through it. Get through it.
I still love that meme. It's a picture of like when you when you skip the cutscene in Call of Duty. It's like, I don't know what my mission is, but I just must kill.
Yeah.
And it's just someone with a helmet with the goggles on. Like, that's it.
Just shoot some arrows and kill a load of frost giants and get the fuck out of there.
That's it. You don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just about with that Sony, because I'm genuinely interested about this. I want to get. I've asked a few of my mates as well. So I'm a PlayStation guy, right? So I've never owned an Xbox ever. My brother has recently turned to the dark side and told me that Xbox is the way to go. Get one quick. And I was like, I don't know. But like with everything in mind, with like Sony and Activision and Xbox trying to buy those rights and stuff, have we seen the last PlayStation console in the PS5?
No.
There will be another PlayStation. I have no doubt that what Xbox right now has the big leg up compared to PlayStation is the Netflix gaming service. Basically, that's the big leg up. Is that you can just go on, rent any game, even if it comes out, it's brand new. You can rent it and then get rid of it. That's it. And that's the biggest thing that they have over, which is drawing in a lot of people, especially people who don't want to fork out $100 every time a new game comes out.
Yeah. I think PlayStation are the reason why there'll be another console. So PlayStation have acquired some developers, and they've like, if you look at their acquisitions, it's very focused on mobile gaming and live service gaming, right? So PlayStation know where the money's at, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to go into mobile, which won't affect. I think everyone's like, "Oh my god, I don't like mobile games. I don't like live service games." It's fine, because they're going to do that to get all the money so that they can keep these consoles, because they lose money on consoles. It's well established that consoles are not money makers. It's the games, hence why they fork out. You have to spend 70 quid to buy one. So they want that to keep going. They know they've got a base strong there. They just need to get. They need to get the levels of money Microsoft have got in order to get anywhere near, carrying on their legacy. But I mean, there's billions and billions of difference between what Microsoft revenue is. I mean, they've got a shitload of other stuff going on anyway. But I think there'll definitely be another PlayStation, 100%.
Yeah, the Xbox, there will be another PlayStation. At this time, we're still back at the start again, so it will still be another 4 to 5 years, or even 9 years before we see another console. We're still going to get the slim versions, which apparently they're actually, I don't think they're far off. I heard rumblings that the slim version can be announced for 2023 for both of them, which I think the slim version of the Xbox will just be a cube. Just be a gaming cube. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, PS5 have got so much room to slim up, because that is a beast of a machine. It takes up an entire fucking worktop, mate.
I know it does. I remember when I first opened, I was like, this is a lot larger. And apparently, even the creator said that apparently it was meant to be like 20 mil taller or something. Yeah. And they were like, oh no, we're going to bring it down. I'm like, why? Because it doesn't fit in anywhere.
No. Have you got one, Matt? Yeah.
No, I haven't got one. No, not yet. I will get one eventually, but I usually wait a little while until it drops a bit.
Well, if you wait, the slim will come out and you'll probably fit into your cabinet.
It's true. Yeah, very true. But
It's
to
true.
answer your question, yes, I think there will be
You think there
Universal
will?
films for Hulk. And
Back up. All right.
So Wakanda was great.
Yes. What was your biggest highlight from Wakanda? And yeah, what was for both of you? What was your biggest highlight? And what was something that surprised you?
Oh, I think when for my biggest highlight, I think was definitely the Shuri reveal coming, to becoming Black Panther and coming down from that big kind of descend into M'Baku. Like it's just it's just that was the best reveal. But like I think what surprised me, or maybe because I did mention it. Sorry, the reason why I'm going like muting because my daughter's here. But the other thing that surprised me was Killmonger in the ancestral plane.
Yes. For a second, when the camera was panning around, I thought, no way they would have done a Chadwick Boseman stand-in. No way they would have done something CGI. And then I was like, yeah, boy.
Yeah. That was really incredible. It kind of although right, and this is a controversial gripe, lads. All right, and I want to get your thoughts on this. So they obviously did that. Killmonger came back for that scene, and then Shuri after that. Shuri has a kind of like. We get a few scenes, don't we, where she doesn't quite kill Namor, but she's reflecting what Killmonger says, right? Because he's like, "Oh, are you going to be like the coward that your brother was, or are you going to?" Yeah. And for me, the gripe comes where I felt like it muddied the waters in the sense that I didn't Shuri then like I'm like, okay, so what path is Shuri taking? And surely she's like. I don't know, like she doesn't kill Thingy, but she's also not a coward, like because she does go pretty fucking wild. And I'm like, but and I just don't. For me, it just grinded on me that the first thing as Shuri as Black Panther is that in what world would that ponder on her brain? She's just lost her brother, so why would she be even remotely listening to what Killmonger's got to say? The fact that she was buying into it in any way just felt a little bit disconnected by the whole frame of the film. Is that you've literally just lost your brother. You're a family person. You're family driven. So why would you be interested in what Killmonger's got to say? That was my gripe.
No, and I get that. And I think probably to bounce off that was that I did hear from another podcast that if you watch from the very start of this movie to the very end, it's almost the 5 stages of grief. You have your sad, denial, and then anger.
True, like it.
But you're right. Like she was starting to really get on board, and I did think I was like, she's gonna straight up murder him. Like she's just like, she is gonna kill him after she cooks him in a microwave. She's gonna cook him like a fish stick. No more sticks. Get him at your local grocer. Anyway.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Microwave foot wing. I love that. I love me some foot wing.
Damn right. Really nail it down. But you're right. Like she starts to really get onto him, and starts believing everything that she says, which is why I do like that she did see him, because her suit has that gold tinge for like Killmonger
influence, isn't it? Yeah, it looks great. I think it looks awesome. Like it's such a great. I actually prefer that than T'Challa's suit. It just brings a different kind of depth into the suit, which I think is great. It looks awesome.
So, are you both happy that this was the last film for Phase 4 to wrap up? Do you think it wrapped at Phase 4 on a high, and are you excited to see Black Panther 3 if they say yes, which I have no doubt they will.
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go first, Matt, mate. You go first, Matt.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, Forrest. Yeah, I think if we get a Black Panther 3, I'd be definitely excited to watch it. And again, with the reveal at the end, with a T'Challa Jr., which is amazing. So just that brings a whole new different level to their narratives. So I'd be very excited to see a third one, which I'm almost positive there's going to be a third one. There's got to be, right? There's got to be. But yeah, I think it did. I think it was definitely the right film to finish with for the year. And I think it was definitely the right film to finish with in Phase 4. Phase 4, I mean, I've mentioned it on our podcast a lot, but like there's been all kinds of problems with Phase 4 from my personal experience and opinion. It's been up and down. There's been certain narratives that just haven't been threaded through, certain introductions of certain characters that haven't been as good as they probably could have been, kind of fell short there. So I do feel like they've definitely chosen the right film to finish with Phase 4. But like they've still got a lot of work to do. I think you mentioned it as well, Lee, and I think it was on our first Deadpool podcast, where it was just about, they've got a long way to go. We've still, we've got a lot of characters still to introduce. You made such a good point about, if there was going to be an Avengers movie in January next year, who the hell would be in it? Like, who would be in it? Like, yeah, exactly. So we've got still a long way to go. Yeah.
I think if that was my only take from Black Panther being the last one of Phase 4, I would probably say that actually it needed the fact there was a credit scene. I found to be quite really disappointing for the last film of a phase to not give us any idea what's happening next year.
I was gonna say that me and my mates waited till the very end and we're like, fucking what? What? Like even there was a whole plethora of rumors. Apparently it was meant to be Doctor Doom or something like that, meant to pop up, but yeah, we got nothing. Like we just I don't know if that's because to play in the rumors that they don't know sure what the direction is, or Ryan Coogler just wanted this to be, let's just wrap this up as a one clean cut, because Quantumania is right around the corner, which dives right into the main storyline that we're leading up to.
Yeah,
I think it was the right choice to not have anything at the end or something that's teasing the next film or another new character, because I think, as you say, like it kind of, for instance, if you weren't an MCU fan, but you were a Chadwick Boseman's fan, and you wanted to see how they pay tribute to him, and you just watched that as a standalone movie, you'd get it, you'd understand the narrative, you'd appreciate it as a standalone movie, and that would be it. And you wouldn't feel so completely, there'd be here and there kind of references to other movies, but like you wouldn't feel completely out of touch, of that movie. So I feel like it was the right choice. Yeah.
No,
do you agree, Forrest?
Yeah,
I don't think I do. I think I think the last scene, which by the way, big shout for the last scene, Letitia writes in the last, that was for me, that was more emotional than the first 10 minutes. That scene of her just sat on the beach, just because you feel like, as an actor, I love moments like that where that's half actor and half genuinely Letitia, right? Being devastated at, you see the raw, genuine emotion there.
Quick point, I forgot to tell everybody, these guys are actors. Like, these guys are really good actors. A side point. Yes, this is the first one I've acted Morant. So, round of applause.
Round of applause. Yeah. You've not seen either one of us on anything, but
yeah.
Cheers, man. Yeah, you haven't seen us on TV, so don't be like, whoa, what do we ever seen you in? What? The old ladies listening to your podcast. But and I think that for me was really soul crushing because it's that genuine emotion, like the genuine, yet again, the brave way to end a film. You're going to end it in silence and just watching her, think about it and yeah, and I love that, and I think it ended on that. Then we got the mid-credit scene, which kind of brought it back and went, oh, hang on, there's more here, right? So we've had the emotional bit, we've had there's more here, there's a journey for Black Panther. So then I felt like actually, okay, that's done. That's a nice tidy bow that you've done there. So have the credits, and then let's move on and let's have something that is coming up that we don't, because there has been a lot of additional characters coming. So like She-Hulk, we've now got Hulk's son, right? So we've got a son for Hulk. And now we've got a sibling. Oh my god, a child. T'Challa's, is it child?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, child.
Yeah, his son. Yeah.
Son, and so we've got a son, we've got two sons then, long lengthy way of me saying two sons then, so we're just getting, what I'm getting at is we're getting a lot of introduction of characters, but no kind of overall vision of, like, we know about Kang's fine, whatever, Kang will appear here, there and everywhere, but like you said, Lee, like you're saying, Matt, if we were having an Avenger film in January, and the fact that we don't know who would appear in that, for me, there doesn't seem, it needed a scene that brought someone together, brought some people together, whether that's She-Hulk's just happens to be in a scene with, the Hulk and Thor chatting about something, just to bring some people together. It's so detached. It's like, fucking hell, can't be the only person to bring this together.
Could you imagine if we got like the son of Nick Fury just turn up?
Oh,
he's
no.
like he's like 10 years old. I'm assembling a team. I want all the second generations, please. So I'm sorry, you can come over. A young T'Challa, yeah, come on.
There was an idea to bring together a young Avengers.
I mean, that does exist, doesn't it?
Right.
We'll probably see a young Avengers at some point,
Oh, I'm Quill's son. I'm Peter Quill's son.
Well,
I'm a Guardian.
How many illegitimate sons will there be from Iron Man?
Oh my god, yes, that'd be so funny.
There'd be a lot of them.
Tony's my father. No, Tony's my father. No, Tony's my father.
I get the suit.
Jesus Christ.
Probably the only thing besides the main character
to the big
universe is Velveteen. Velveteen's probably the only broader universe connection, which I was very surprised that she was in this. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is your big MCU movie debut, and you're basically an evil Nick Fury. She's probably the only thing that really connects everything, because there's nothing else. You're right, doesn't tie in together. It could be, again, like Thor 4. It's a solo kind of movie. So that's really the only thing.
I think that would be my overriding. I know we're going to start talking about Phase 4 more generally, I think, but to begin that, perhaps, like the only thing I would say is that everything is so detached, and that's fine, but it can't be an MCU. Then it's not a universe, is it? Like, if it's just detached superhero films, that's great. But let's not have it in the MCU then, because there's no what connection does that have? Even if you go, and with the podcast, we've gone back to Phase 1, Phase 2, and even then you're still getting more connections with the superheroes. Yeah, even Phase 1 managed to establish some connections with people in order to get us somewhere. This phase is just like fucking. We've got Wakanda, not Wakanda. We've got Wanda over there. We've got fucking Doctor Strange over here. We've got no one is doing anything in a together. Anyway.
No,
I'll stress the point.
No. And that's a really good point. I think if we've got nothing more to add on to Wakanda, I think we can move on to a Phase 4 look back. I will say the last thing about is I love Baku. I love the scene where he's helping
Baku's
everybody
great.
and he's like, "Oh, the fish man!" Like, like this gets so excited. Like, I'm gonna beat up this fish man.
It's right. So actually, talking about M'Baku, is he actually challenging at the end of the film? Is he actually challenging for Black Panther at the end of the film?
Or was he challenging to be king?
Yeah, to be king. Sorry,
Yeah.
Is he challenging just to be king? And Shuri is still Black Panther because she's royal bloodline.
Mm.
I think that's what we're gonna see if it comes to like Black Panther 3, or even, to be honest, they could even thread that into another movie that comes into the universe. But like, like an Avengers one or whatever. But like, I think M'Baku's definitely going to turn out to be king, because it's like, I think he's been a fan favorite as well. So they're investing in that character. You can tell.
Well, we spoke, didn't we, Matt, on the night that we watched it, and we said that I wonder whether it had already been agreed, because Shuri managed to get M'Baku to help attack, right, Namor, and she managed to bring him into that fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's already been agreed, because she just happened to be out of Wakanda at the time and all of this stuff. So I think she's already agreed to him being king. I think that's already been settled. That was to compensate for him being involved in the fight. She went, "Look, you can be king. I'm going to get on with this, and this is the role that I need to do."
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, 100%. It makes sense because she's not ready for the throne at all. What she's so I feel like if she was a bit older, like not middle aged, probably not. Yeah, like more in like Chadwick Boseman's age, she might have taken the throne. But right now, through her grief, you're certainly a superhero and have all the powers of multiple generations. You're probably not in any mindset to be king, which is probably why she didn't rock up.
Yeah, and because I don't think M'Baku would have because that was like for M'Baku to be such a nice character within that film, right? He's fully supportive of Shuri, fully behind it. For him to then do a dick move right at the end just doesn't. For me, it doesn't make sense with that character. They're all of them are grieving. All of them, like he wouldn't be unless he had already been told by someone like Shuri to go, "Actually, mate, you do it," because he came out of a ship. He's got a smile on his face. He already knows that he's the king. It's already been agreed. He's just got to do this move in order to confirm it, right? That's how I see that scene.
Yeah. No, you're 100%, and I'm fine with him being king. Like, I'm not like because what he did in both. He is a fan favorite character, which is why I was happy that, out of the Wakanda characters, he was one in Infinity War, and you saw him in Endgame as well. Like he was one of the characters I'd be happy to see in more things, which we might now because he is the lead. He will be the leader of Wakanda, especially with Namor's speech at the end. Something brewing. Like he's waiting for something to end with his speech. I can't wait to see Namor in something else. And I still feel right now, it's not like he was a villain at the start. He's turned a hero. Like I feel like he's kind of that part where, like he's sort of like Loki, being he's still going to. You don't know what he's going to do. He's going to shake your hand and stab you at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look,
do you know if there's any within the comic books or whatever knowledge you have, Lee? Do you know whether there's is there another villain that we already know about that Namor is famous for, connecting with?
My extent of Namor is the fact that I know there has been multiple comics where he has fought Wakanda, he has fought Black Panther, so that's still very faithful to the comics. The other thing I know about Namor is that he is part of the Illuminati. Like, what we saw in Doctor Strange 2 with... so the Illuminati is actually the original cast is Iron Man, Charles Xavier, Namor, Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic. Like they're the core
Right.
members of the Illuminati originally. So I know he plays, and because of that, there's a whole storyline which it's called World War Hulk, which what happens is eventually the Illuminati kick Hulk off Earth because he's too dangerous. They put him in a ship and they send him off to Sakaar that we see in Thor 3, which basically that all plays out. So that's cool. And then what happens in World War Hulk is that he goes and assembles an army and goes to fight all the superheroes back on Earth for kicking him off, which he then goes after Doctor Strange, Iron Man, all of them, and he brings the army of Sakaar back to Earth.
Okay.
But short story, that's as far as I know about Namor. But I know Namor is one of the oldest MCU characters on page.
Yeah,
so,
I get the sense. I get the sense that you can sort of bring him into a few storylines that are kind of threaded already by MCU. Judging by that, that's probably the biggest and main thing that he's part of in terms of the comics. So I wonder there might be opportunities for him to kind of be slotted in to certain narratives.
Yeah, I think he can be, and I thought, like, as a guy flying around in winged feet, I'm like, you are so believable. I can't wait to see what you're in next. And obviously, we know he's going to be in Kang Dynasty. We know he's going to be in Secret Wars. But as far as I know, he's not scheduled to appear anywhere else. But the actor, I'm pretty sure he said he's excited for to jump in anywhere.
Do you want to hear a wild theory that I've just created in my head, Lee, based on what you've just said? Matt, Matt loves my wild theories.
I love it. God,
Here we go. M'Baku, that last scene, he's been nice for the whole film. He's not being nice, but he's been great within the film. He's accepted Wakanda, blah blah blah. And then at the end, he comes in and he does this weird thing like, "Oh, I'm going to challenge to be the king," right? Which you can kind of argue is a little bit like odd. It's a little bit like, okay, this is off. You've just said it. We've just been talking about Namor, right? Namor's got a plan. Namor is very similar in heart to Loki, quite mischievous, has a plan. Loki has the ability to change into other people. Could that scene have been Loki playing M'Baku? Because if he can become king, Loki can infiltrate Wakanda from the inside for Namor.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're doing a bit of that. Yeah. But
it's just a little bit of fetch. I love that you two. You didn't want to come out and go bullshit. You're just like, what's the nicest way of me saying that this is an absolute non-starter?
Look, to put it politely, Loki's dead. Let's just close that and let's.
Loki ain't dead, Lee. Come on, mate. We know Loki's not dead. They're never killing Loki properly.
I mean, if we go by those standards, no one is, are they? End of Ragnarok, end of Love and Thunder, like, no one's dead.
It's very true.
He's dead. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, who knows, mate? Who knows? I'm going to hold on to that theory until I'm told.
Get it in your back pocket.
Oh, you got.
I was telling you guys about the was it Kang Wong being a Kang variant? Did I tell you that one?
Don't think so.
Oh, all right. No. So there's a whole theory. There's a whole theory, the fact that from two sides of the story, he's a great bloke. His name's Tom, and his big theory is that Wong is a Kang variant because of the fact you see Wong popping in all these different shows could he actually be just a Kang variant this whole time? And he's got that in his back pocket, and he's taking that to the bank.
I mean, I'd love to see Wong go evil. That's something that I've been really interested to see if that kind of happens. They'd have to do some serious explaining about kind of, when you see Kang variants, they're all the same of the original Kang. But like, there's hey, I'd be interested to see that.
Can a Kang variant and the original person be in the same universe? So could it be that it's not actually Wong, it's just another Wong is the Kang variant? So he creates like a second Wong.
It'd be the wrong way, but you could do. I'm sorry. I'll get up and leave.
Yes.
I'll get up and leave.
Joe.
Right, I'm off.
Oh, see you later. Bye.
Well, the thing is,
ridiculous.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
well, the thing is, you're right, because it could be, because the thing is, we've got no Kang right now in our universe, so it could be the fact that it is Wong in disguise.
Oh,
So I'll let you play with that theory.
okay, got that in my pocket.
Yeah.
I got M'Baku being Loki in another one, and I've still got Obadiah is Thanos in another
oh God.
pocket. All right, I'm going for this. If you've never heard of our podcast, way back in phase 1, I said that Obadiah still lives, and he lives through Thanos. Obadiah became Thanos. All right.
So you think that these two dead characters, there's still going to be some thread that connects the two?
And when it's proven, Lee, you're going to feel pretty fucking stupid, my friend. All right.
Son of a bitch was right.
People are going to pick up this podcast. This is going to be like, Kevin's going to be like, oh, someone in the world has actually, put 2 and 2 together. And
Shit.
Scrub it out. Get rid of it. It was this day, this moment, when I solved all the riddles, mate. Oh, mate.
Done and dusted.
Job done.
So, moving on from theory. So phase 4 is done in a nutshell. It is the longest phase that we have ever gotten, obviously because Disney Plus. B, feels like the most disjointed phase that we've ever got. So Matt first. How would you, looking back on phase 4, what would you say would be a highlight compared to the rest of the phase that we have got? And what would you say is it's been its biggest downfall?
Oh, do you know what? If I'm thinking all the way back, so the first thing that came out of phase 4, if I'm right, is WandaVision, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
WandaVision, it was, wasn't it? And you know what? I really enjoyed that, and do you know what? It kind of put me into a false sense of security, I think, with the Disney Plus series. I was like, oh my God, this is epic. This is so great. I'm well on board with this. I've got a few highlights, but I've got a few real downfalls with certain things. And so my highlights within that is WandaVision, I think, as a standalone series, and also kind of continuation from Endgame and threading through the future into Multiverse of Madness as well. I think that's exactly what I would only hope going forward more Disney Plus shows will do. Moon Knight, I was so wrong. I enjoyed Moon Knight as a standalone thing. I think Oscar Isaac gave some really good performances. There were some gripes I had within it, naturally, but I think as introduction of Moon Knight was pretty badass. The biggest kind of downfall for me is kind of the sheer amount of content that's coming out in the MCU. I do worry about this kind of like quality over quantity situation, and quantity over quality, isn't it? No, what is it?
Quality
Quantity over
over
quality.
quantity
Yeah,
over
over quality.
quality.
But like this is the thing, like we're gonna get so much content still. That's not gonna stop. Disney are gonna run this to the absolute ground. So we're just as fans gonna naturally we're gonna watch everything. But I think we're seeing the falls in visual effects. I mean, there's been some, even the visual effects with some TV series and even some of the movies. Eternals was Phase 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yes,
mean,
it was.
well,
Yeah, yes, it was.
I mean, as a movie, Eternals was definitely the worst one for me. But like, we've got so many new characters. Some of them have been introduced well as a standalone thing. Some of them have just been hodgepodge together. With She-Hulk, I found it for me very difficult to watch. I just the fourth wall breaking, and then when it gets to a point where it gets so meta, then the world that I am invested in gets so broken down to the point where I'm like, I can't suspend my disbelief for this because I'm invested in people's stories as if they're in our world. So I had difficulty with that show. Miss Marvel, I enjoyed. I'm going through more. I really shouldn't do that. But like
No, it's
Miss
all
Marvel,
right.
I enjoyed. But yeah, there's been real highs, but real lows for me. Yeah.
Yeah, some of that I can, so all of that pretty much I can agree with. Moon Knight was such a sleeper. It's funny. I was talking to a mate today because he was telling me how he's gone back to go watch Hawkeye because it's the 1 year anniversary when Hawkeye came out, and I was
Wow.
saying that how I remember when Hawkeye finished, I was like, oh, really Moon Knight, like, what's that going to entail? And I still remember watching the first episode going, I want more now. I have no idea what's going on, but I want to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was
There's so much layers for the character. There is so much going on. There's so much backstory. It hits on serious subjects, but equally it uses a mental health disorder into a superhero power brilliantly. They link that so well, and I think that's why it's resonated with a lot of people that maybe suffer that as well, but equally are feeling like, oh no, it does feel, it is kind of like a superhero power. I think it's got the makings of it being a really great little mini franchise in its own right. I just hope they lean into it more.
So do I. I really hope they do. And you're right. Like it dealt with so much mental health, and just the scenes with his mum. That scene where he keeps going up the stairs, trying to find out what happened. And I remember all the memes coming out going, she's worse than Thanos. She's the biggest villain of the MCU period. And it got really dark. How about you, Forrest?
Well, we can't dispute how fantastic Eternals is and the last episode of She-Hulk. So I think for me, they have got to be, they're just, they're undisputed champions.
Don't tease the fans.
Don't
tease listeners.
All the listeners have swamped away from your podcast.
Yeah.
I've ended the podcast there. I'm not having it. I don't want it anymore. Right. I'm just going to put this into context. Black Widow was the first film in this phase. Black Widow was in this phase. That feels like about 10 years ago. Yeah, Black Widow.
It was the first one.
It is.
Do you know what?
Taskmaster
fell short massively in that story. The superhero of Taskmaster is amazing. It's brilliant, and they butchered it. In my opinion, they absolutely butchered it in Black Widow.
Like shit, a supervillain that can copy the moves of the heroes on paper.
Exactly.
That is shit.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Massively lost chances there. But favorite film, and we haven't mentioned it yet. My favorite film, Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Shang-Chi was fantastic. Combat scenes, fantastic. Storyline, fantastic. Actors in it, beautiful. And it actually did bring in more characters, and it did bring in like, so the end we've got the rings that brings in Wong, loads of stuff. So I am very, very excited when they bring Shang-Chi back. I thought that was by far my favorite. Least favorite, I mean, least has got to be Eternals. Eternals is the only film that I genuinely nearly fell asleep to.
I've never
Because it's got a
seen
sex
Boris
scene,
so
isn't it?
angry.
It was the only film me and Matt have seen. We came out and didn't speak to each other. It was almost like it's almost like me and Matt had created the film and we're that disappointed with it. We just walked out. We couldn't speak, mate. It was awful. It is dreadful. I'm sorry. I like people out there defend it or like it, or I'm sorry, but our film is sweet hot garbage, and it needs to be thrown in the bargain bucket ASAP. It is
the $2 DVD bucket.
yeah. Oh my god. What about you, Lee? Favorite film, Eternals.
Eternals. It just really brought Marvel back to its core of what everything it's about. And I really liked it about a mind controlling guy that killed a whole bunch of people. Like, that was really good. And Sex in the Desert, that appealed to me as well. Just it's all Sandy. Favorite film.
Do you think the director was like, this movie's going so badly? We're in the desert. Sex scene. Quickly, guys,
Done.
let's do a sex scene.
She could. She's like, oh, we need to save this movie, and nothing saves a shitty movie scene.
Oh, dear.
See, Shang-Chi would have to be right there for me. He's one of the top films. But number one for me would have to be just the pure fan service is No Way Home. Like, that hit nostalgia. It got really dark. You know, I've watched that fight between Tom Holland and Goblin, and that when he's on his knees, he's going to kill him. He's laying into him. Like, you see Spider-Man pull his punches, but he wasn't pulling. He knew because he could take it. And just seeing all those characters pop up again was fantastic. Least favorite, I'm sorry. I have a mate named Mark. He loves Eternals. He doesn't know why. Shit, so he's listening to this. Eternals would have to be my least favorite because, like, even Thor 4 and Doctor Strange, they weren't up to full par, but I found them still more interesting in the characters that we saw. Even the new ones that got introduced. Eternals, for me, the most exciting thing was Eternals was right at the end with the after credits scene when he finds the blade, and then you hear Blade talk in the background. Like, that was the most exciting thing for me, not seeing Harry Styles.
Lee, I thought Harry Styles was going to be your favorite post film scene, mate. Harry Styles. I mean, that proved to be worthwhile, didn't it? Because we've seen shitload of Harry Styles since that fucking random 30-second scene, haven't we? We know loads what that is, and a little troll that we've never seen since.
I don't. As far as we know, the fact that his brother is Thanos. How does one has a bald and nutsack chin? Why do you look subpar all right?
Yeah. But he does look like Obadiah, so he looks like his brother. So that's great.
Exactly right.
Obadiah Oh my god, I'm so glad all of us detest Eternals. Man.
You're right with Black Widow too. The thing I said this last time as well, I think I was talking to you guys, was that after that opening bit, that's kind of when the movie went down for me. Like, Scarlett Johansson, she still puts on a fantastic performance. Seeing Elena get introduced, and I'm ready for her to be the new MVP. Just the whole story is just a bit, and lovely CGI.
We fell short with Black Widow, and I think we deserved a Black Widow movie a lot earlier.
Yeah, it's 5 years too late.
Literally. And the thing is, like, I think for me, it should have been placed after Iron Man 2. You know, there should have been a standalone Black Widow movie just before we kind of got really her into kind of getting into the Avengers and that arc being started. We get like a prequel effectively of her. You know,
would you have rather after Iron Man 2, or would you have rather where this takes place to be released? So this was if this got relieved in chronological order, this would have been right after Civil War.
Yeah, but that's the, maybe to be honest, maybe there, because like even at that point, you're aware of the character, you know what she's doing in terms of, you know, what she wants and the layers that she's got in her character. So I think that would have probably fitted within there. But you're right, it was 5 years too late.
Someone's just come to the door. I've just got to go. I'll be 2 seconds.
Who's at the door?
Who's at the door?
Good guessing game.
It's literally, and I think as well, like Scarlett Johansson does such a good job as playing Black Widow. She was most definitely, you know, in terms of the fit and the way that she worked with the character, there was a lot that she worked through in her character. You know, we were talking about in the first Iron Man movie, when she's introduced, there's this kind of sexualized version of her. And then when it passed through sort of phase 2, phase 3, there's this kind of, you know, badass strong woman that works within the dynamic, and they kind of got rid of that very early on, which was good. And I'm glad that happened, just because it could have fell short with the character a little bit. And this is the thing, she's got such a dark backstory as well.
She does, and like you got to remember what her name is as well, like a Black Widow.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that name just be like, oh look, I picked this. So this sounds pretty intense. Let's go pick this. No, like she's got a pretty dark story, and it's terrible because they do show that in the Black Widow movie why she got some red in her ledger, yet like, oh, it's still too late. But welcome back, Forrest.
Hello. The joys of a live podcast. This is shit that kicks off, mate.
No, that's all right.
My apologies.
Don't stress. Well, for the TV shows though, so this obviously there's going to be Disney Plus shows for the rest of the phases. They're never going to stop that. And you're right, WandaVision is still, I think, any ranking you look on, WandaVision is neither 1 or 2. That's not disputed with anybody. And I think it was a fantastic choice for that to start first instead of originally it was meant to be Falcon and Winter Soldier was meant to be start kicking off everything before it got delayed. So what was your favorite TV show? What was your least favorite TV show? And you can't pick Internals again.
For favorite TV show for me has got to be WandaVision. Least favorite, She-Hulk.
I think I'm going to be mildly controversial with my favorite.
Oh,
my favorite. My favorite is Hawkeye.
Really?
I actually thoroughly enjoyed Hawkeye. I thought it was. I'm a massive Christmas fan. Like I love Christmas. I love the end of the year. It makes me happy. Makes other people. I just enjoy it. So I love Die Hard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I thought, but that's not, you know, just like Hawkeye because it's Christmas theme. Yeah. But I thought there were some really good performances there. I really like Florence Pugh's character and her integration into it. I thought there was some great acting across the board there. I actually I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. It was just really nice. I think standalone, I wouldn't want any more of it. I think it was just nice little package series there. But least favorite. Problem is, I've not watched all of them. I have to confess. So I still need to watch Moonlight, and I still need to watch Captain America, Falcon. But the ones that I've seen, so I've probably only seen WandaVision, Hawkeye, and She-Hulk. Loki. So
Very low key.
yeah, see. I think both of mine are going to be massively controversial. So I think my favorite would be Hawkeye, and my least favorite. I'm so sorry, Matt.
You can't
My least favorite is Loki.
What? All right. You need to debate this. I don't know anyone who's put Loki at the bottom.
Right, Loki has some of the worst pacing I've ever seen. There are episodes that are pure fucking filler. There are episodes that have no identity or no knowledge of what they're doing or what they're serving. I think a lot of it derives from Loki love, and I know Matt's going to be, he's getting ready to roll up. But a lot of it derives from, I love Loki. So they were going to love any fucking shit. But actually, if you take Loki out and put someone else in and you deliver exactly the same episodes, I can guarantee you're not going to enjoy it as much.
It had way more of a compelling narrative than other TV series that have recently come out in Phase 4.
Right.
Like,
are we raising She-Hulk?
You can't.
Yeah. We're...
I mean, and you just
but
there's pretty much every episode of She-Hulk, maybe against kind of the team up with Daredevil and kind of episode that's like episode 8, isn't it? No, it's set 6 or 7. So there's filler episodes. I want to say for half of the series in She-Hulk.
But they're not filler episodes because there's not the overriding theme. It isn't supposed to be. It's providing a TV series with standalone episodes. There's no overriding theme with She-Hulk, right? Whether
She-Hulk
that's negative or positive.
To the audience, she says this is a filler episode. I think it's the wedding one, isn't it? But this is a standalone episode.
Yeah,
because the whole thing is about like diverting the fan base. Just wanted they wanted Daredevil to get in as soon as possible, and for any other superhero that they can bring in, because God forbid that there's a female superhero that has their own series that's a little bit quirky for too long, right? May I say that Loki's fucking equally quirky and equally like all over the place. But I have to. I'm sorry, I got to be controversial massively. No. But I Loki. I think for me, Loki, and there's enough in She-Hulk that makes me go, oh, I'm quite interested in this. So the whole thing about using Abomination, I found bits funny and I found it interesting because I didn't know where it was going to go, and I also there are lots of things that I did thoroughly enjoy with She-Hulk, whereas Loki, there is a lot more that I didn't like. I didn't like how overly complicated Loki was at times. I felt like there were a couple of episodes where I was like, had I have no knowledge of everything else, literally everything else in Marvel, I'd have no idea what this episode is actually talking about because it didn't repeat itself enough. Yeah.
Loki's got more to answer for, I think, when it goes into season 2 than She-Hulk. She-Hulk made a very clear, definite choice on how this is toned, what this is, and they're going to run with that. With Loki, there's more questions than there are answers than there is with She-Hulk. And I think this as well, like, I said it on our, when we did a finale episode about She-Hulk on the podcast, but like, Tatiana Maslany is a brilliant casting for She-Hulk, and she delivers She-Hulk really well. But like, if you're comparing, there are both issues in those TV series, but Loki, it just does have more of a compelling story, and it does thread through into the grander scheme of things, which is what I think the service of what the series should have. It should be a part of that bigger picture.
Yes,
but I would argue that She-Hulk does do that because the whole point of She-Hulk is because, like we said earlier, they can't do an Incredible Hulk movie. So what's the easiest thing is let's bring in She-Hulk, let's get his brother, get his son in, so that we can now do, I was going to say Hulk War, but it's not called Hulk War, is it? It's called
World War Hulk. Yeah.
World War Hulk. So
Yeah.
it has got a much bigger place. But Loki, and as I say, I'm definitely not saying Loki is bad. Loki is incredibly good, and the last episode does an incredible job with that, and an incredible job of looping it in. But some of those episodes felt like a Star Wars TV series, and there is a lot of Star Wars episodes that feel like literally nothing is happening.
Oh, it's funny you say that because I just finished Andor, and I'm like, I'm sure someone can do a supercut of this show, and I will still be satisfied.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what it is, and it seems to be a massive it seems to be a lot of it. I don't know why writers think it's acceptable to have 8 episodes when only 4 are needed. Just literally have the fucking episodes that are needed. Put what you actually want to achieve in them. Create interesting, action-packed episodes and leave it at that. Don't bloat it out. Don't make it bigger than it needs to be. Don't make hour-long episodes if you can't fill an hour long. Stop it. That's why I like She-Hulk. Half an hour episode. You can argue it's too short, but arguably, at least something happened in the episode.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I just can't. I've never seen anyone put Loki at the bottom. Like, that still gets me. Like,
it's not at the bottom. It's just not at the top, Lee.
That's. Well, I agree with you. Let's pan to this. I will agree with you. Some of the Loki bits are a little bit slow, in the sense. I think there's one where I think the whole planet's like collapsing, and they're trying to, or the planet's imploding or something, and there's like 20 minutes of a scene trying to get out of it, which I was like, oh, a bit okay. But for me, like, I would go watch Loki again before She-Hulk, but at the same time, I'm a big Daredevil fan, so I could go back and watch She-Hulk more.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's your favorite and what's your worst one, Lee?
Well, I don't know if I want to say it now. Shit. Favorite, absolute favorite was WandaVision. Least favorite, which I think is because I don't have kids in that sense, is Captain Marvel. That I found myself like pushing myself to watch each episode. I found it a bit slow to watch each one. But in a sense, I think if I had like kids, and like I would want to show my kids that, like I would want to show them like this is a superhero that you can relate to and you can inspire to be. With
that, I agree. So I've got 2 girls, right? So my oldest is 6, and that was when I watched. Miss Marvel, isn't it? When I watched it, I was thinking I could watch this with her. This is the only Marvel related thing in the MCU that I think I would feel it's appropriate to, but equally I think she would enjoy this. I think that's probably why I think I enjoyed quite a few elements within it, because it gave that kind of vibe that it was very tailored for a different demographic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's not tailored for a 29-year-old male to watch it. That's the thing. It's different, but I do like the aesthetics. Like, it made me very much think about Spider-Man: Homecoming, with how like you saw the writing on the walls and the writing on the ground, like that. That was all good, but yeah, I found myself trying to review it, be a bit like, yeah, she did this and she did that, and I'm really looking forward to She-Hulk when it comes out. Or it could have been because it came off the back of Moon Knight, and I was really excited for Moon Knight. And then I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Can we just wait for your movie now? But Hawkeye, I remember when they first announced Hawkeye, and I thought that. I remember thinking, oh, what the fuck are they doing a Hawkeye show? Who's gonna want to watch a show about an Arrow dude? And same thing, I got to the end of it, I was like, I want to see more shows of the Arrow dude because I think it
He
did a
was really good.
fantastic job of showing the only human member in the Avengers and how it's affected him after all those explosions.
Big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Big time. You know, we keep talking about the values of what the Don't Be a Hero podcast is, but like Clint is that again represents the fact that he is just a human who's just fucking very good at using arrows, and he's been
Yeah.
affected. Like, you know, the fact that he's, you know, pretty much deaf, and like they play into that. I really enjoyed the series because it reintroduced Kingpin. I think, you know,
Yeah,
Wilson Fisk. Oh my god, he's just so good. He's perfect for that role. Yeah.
that was so good. But with Phase 4, would you say you're comfortably looking forward to Phase 5, or because the big thing is it's so disjointed, are you not excited you would be looking to Phase 5?
I'm going in
If that makes
cautiously.
sense.
Yeah, I'm going in cautiously. I think when Phase 4 was announced and with the TV series and stuff, I was initially like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. So much content throughout the year. I'm going to be off my rocket. It's going to be great. And it disappointed in some ways. So I'm now going in quite cautious about how it's just going to play out and how it's going to be, which hopefully will soften my disappointments as we go into 2023. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
Yeah.
I am relieved that one of the opening films is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think if we didn't have Guardians feels like it's like the safe haven. It feels like the kind of everything else might be a bit shit or a little bit like what is going on. But Guardians is like the safe, happy place. You know, it's going to be good. Whatever else goes wrong, Guardians will never not be good, right?
No,
And
with James Gunn back.
Well, yes, get him back. But yeah, looking forward to that. I think Ant-Man, it's got so much promise, but everything that's come out of it looks very one note, and I'm a bit like I'm like, so it's just going to be based in like this kind of quantum realm, and it's just going to be like him and Kang, and I don't know, it just seems very focused on one thing, and I'm like, okay.
I'm worried about the visual effects. In that movie.
Yeah, if we're good pushing forward, that's a little bit nerve-wracking how that's going to be. And the thing is, like, Phase 5 to start off next year is a bit promising, as in, well, to a degree, Ant-Man 3, then we get Guardians of the Galaxy. As far as I know, I think the very first TV show to kick it off is Secret Invasion, which
looks great.
Like
that looks insane.
A Jason Bourne kind of espionage thing, because there was no quips, there was no jokes, there was no anything MCU feel in that show except for aliens. Sorry, in the trailer that we got.
So apparently, so I'm just having a quick look, Lee. It looks like the first series is actually going to be the new What If series. So it'll be season 2 of What If, which we haven't talked about actually, although I haven't watched any of it, so I do need to go back and watch that.
I really loved it.
It's good. It's surprisingly good. Especially the last episode with Ultron is so. Even Killmonger comes back.
Wow.
Yeah, like
so good.
3/4 of voice actors to come back.
Oh wow, we were.
I think it was the last thing that Chadwick did as well. I think.
Yes, it's the last thing he voiced. The last MCU project, which is really. And then, Forrest, when you go back and watch it, we have to talk about the Doctor Strange episode when you reach it.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely cover it. And to be fair, mate, we'll bring you on for the Doctor Strange one if that's a particular highlight.
So Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it before Deadpool, so it'll be all right. But so it's that Secret Invasion. Echo, and then Loki season 2.
Oh yeah,
Which
Echo
Loki season
is
2.
going to be interesting because Daredevil's going to be in it, Kingpin's going to be in it. Don't know about Hawkeye. Still don't know how Echo is going to talk to Daredevil because one's blind, one's deaf. So don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah. There's a lot of I think Echo will be a really interesting show. I think it'll be great. I've got quite high hopes for it, actually. I think because they're tackling those types of things, I would have thought they're going to really think about it, and it should be an incredibly good, well thought out show. We've got the Marvels as well next year, so we've got Captain Marvel back.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but someone tweeted the first promotional material, and Kamala Khan does not look like her. She looks like a completely different actor. I will try and find
really?
it. She looks completely different. Like everyone else looks fine, but just her face, you're like, did she age like a lot, or that's a different person? Like it's that bad.
Oh wow.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I forgot that movie's coming out next year, which I'm
Yeah.
more excited for it now after watching WandaVision and Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It's been quite quiet. They've been very, very quiet about that, haven't they? A lot of focus on Ant-Man, I suppose. They want to get Ant-Man out there, but there hasn't been much focus on that. But it'll be interesting.
But isn't it? I think I mentioned this. Captain Marvel's come out. Isn't that July? If you could open it right there.
The Marvels is set after the events of the Disney series Miss Marvel. I don't think they've got one. I mean, here we go. Let me open the actual Marvel. July. So it comes out end of July 2023.
So that's the last Marvel movie for next year. So we don't get another Marvel movie for nearly like 5 to 6 months.
That's mental. It's crazy, isn't it?
Because the last few years, we've had something in November. Like we had, this year we've had Wakanda. Last year we had Spider-Man. The year before that we had Internals, and I think the year before that we had Spider-Man Far From Home.
Could this be a good? Could it mean that they're actually they're taking on board the whole quality over quantity, so they're going to space things out a little bit, have the TVs, because maybe Loki or Echo comes out in that time frame, so maybe they want to actually shoehorn people, because that was the thing, that the TV series were getting kind of lost with the films coming out, so actually giving that space to breathe and being able to market that a bit better might be good.
That's true. So I being greedy, I'm like, there's still gonna be like years time, I'm sure, I have no doubt we're still going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man 3 with everything that's going to happen in that, or a Secret Invasion. So I think there'll be enough breathing room. For me, Phase 5, I'm excited, but I'm nervous about the CGI. That's probably for me. And I know that Guardians of the Galaxy is just going to be such a gut punch. Whatever happens in it, it's just going to be fucking sad.
Yep. Oh, I'm not ready for it.
Nah, but let's end this episode, because I think that's a good segue. Is what do we all think of Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, holiday special with Kevin Bacon, the best smelling actor of all time?
It kicked ass. Absolutely kicked ass, mate. It's so good. For a holiday special short, it was great. It was brilliant. So much music. Like just the word music for me coming out of that episode. Banging.
Soundtrack, man. Yeah.
I know, so good. And there's a band called the Wombats. but based in north of England. North of England. Is that right, Frank?
Yeah.
And they, the Wombats. I've always loved them, right? And I saw them live earlier this year for the first time. Great band, and they're featured in this episode. And I was literally like, "Oh my god!" They sing a Christmas, like an alternative Christmas song, and it features in this. And I was literally like, "Wow!" I lost my shit.
They're not the opening band, are they?
No, not the opening band.
No.
It's when they first. Drax first lands in America, and they're like going around like taking souvenirs, like checking the streets out, talking to people, and it's the music that plays during that scene. And it is This Christmas, I think it's called, and it's great. Yeah, but overall, yeah, music was quality. I thought the story was great. They did like enough to kind of rope in a little bit of like other Marvel-y bits to keep it integral, but it was never going to be as integral to the MCU as they tried to have you believe, I think, but it was great. I enjoyed it.
I completely agree. The music was amazing. I think that first band that played, do we know who they are? Is there anybody figured out if they're an actual band or not? Because if they are, they are brilliant, and the song that they did was flipping brilliant. Like, and this is the thing, like I won't be surprised to see if like they do like a Guardians Holiday Special soundtrack that you could get, because it was just banger after banger, and even those
it's on
songs were
Spotify.
fantastic. Oh, is it?
There
you go.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. You can listen to the whole thing. But I'm trying to have a look right now. It only goes for 45 minutes, but you're right. That opening song pretty much just set the tone for the rest of the episode.
It felt so Christmassy, so it does exactly what it needs to do. It's the storyline isn't obviously the most in-depth thing. It's very clear, it's very obvious, it's very you don't have to think hard about it. You just enjoy it, and it is funny. And what I really loved is that we got to see more of Mantis just being absolutely hilarious. I love her so much. She's so funny. Just the comedy duo between her and Drax as well. It just works perfect, because it worked so well in the second one. And the fact that they fleshed that out in this, in a standalone kind of like duo thing, it was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was beaming.
It was, and to focus on those two characters out of the Guardians, I thought were like, again, brave, like to go, but just bold to have those two characters, not focusing on Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord, any of those. Was really, really brave. Just quickly, Chris Pratt in this episode, did he look a little bit disheveled to you? His like hair was like, it wasn't his normal self. Oh, is he?
He's in a depression, isn't he, from post Gamora and all that kind of stuff? And I think that's the reason where it kind of sets up. Yeah.
True.
That's right. And I think those actors have all had it very busy over the past year, because they've gone from Thor 4 to this to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Their recording schedule must be massive,
But you're right. Chris Pratt did look a little bit, which of course is still Gamora depression. But
were you hinting there, Forrest, that the fact that it might be to do with the fact that he got cancelled earlier this year?
Well, kind of. I mean, a lot has happened in Chris Pratt's life, isn't it? Like, a lot is going on, and you kind of like, I don't know. To be fair, I'd completely forgotten about Gamora, but even in this episode, they don't. It's not. The focus isn't on the fact that we need to get Christmas, to Star-Lord to make him happy. It was just that it's Christmas time on Earth, so that's why we need to rep. So it wasn't about the Gamora thing. So for shriveled, it makes sense in the broader thing, but actually within this episode didn't quite make, because he's not in. But that all kicks off, doesn't it? But I don't know. It just didn't. He just seemed a little off It seemed a little strange performance for me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No. I get what you mean. Like if you just take this by itself, you're awfully depressed having Christmas.
Yeah.
But another thing is like what you were saying before is like even the opening credits all had very Christmas feels. The animation at the very start I thought was really cool. Just that little backstory. But like this did feel like this reminded me of I had in my head it's Vacation. And it remind me of that and like the Santa Claus. Like the opening credits and then you hear the music kick in. But no, I really liked all that. What did you guys think of the twist? When I heard the twist, I was like, oh no, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that that'd be right.
Yeah, I was actually quite glad that's how they tied Mantis in as well in terms of, you know, with the twist. I liked it. I think it brings another opportunity of bringing some more depth into the characters. There's now going to be, this is what I'm worried in Guardians 3, we might lose Mantis.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because now they've revealed that they're siblings.
Gamora
instead of
killer.
Yeah. There's gonna be I think that's what's gonna happen. And it's gonna break me. It's gonna break me because I love her. She's just so good.
That is some Guardians 3 shit is definitely going to kick off. I don't think we're gonna lose Rocket. I don't think we're gonna lose Groot. I don't think it's gonna be, I think them two are fine. I think, like you say, it'll be Mantis, Gamora, not gonna probably lose Nebula, but
how can you not love Mantis in this holiday special? So if you're a Guardians fan, you're watching this holiday special. Oh my god, Mantis is so funny. Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Rocket's gonna die, isn't he? In the third one, yeah. And it's gonna be so. It won't be Rocket. It will be Mantis.
It'll be Mantis. Yeah. Well, that's and that in writing that makes sense. It's like, oh, you just got this nice family connection.
Yeah. But the other thing was, me and Matt were speaking about this on our podcast, Lee, was that I think we were tying in with the whole, will Guardians 3 be the last movie for the Guardians? And one of the things that either led us to believe that, or that possibly Drax could die, because the actor has just been on Twitter talking about Gears of War and wanting to be in Gears of War, right? So the fact that he's trying to fill his schedule and fill his diary in would lead me to believe he's either not playing that character because he's dying, or Guardians is, settling down for a while.
Yeah, I could see that. I think with Dave Bautista, I feel like some of the comments he makes, I feel like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're living. I understand. Like, I know it must be difficult. Like, I get that is time constraints, and acting. But I'm like, people would raise their hand to do your job. People would raise their hand to do all of that and won't complain once. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna put makeup on. I'm like, go ask the chick that was the Mystique. Like, I'm sure there was blue still up in places that the sun don't shine. Like, complain about that, but I think the rumor is either Drax or Rocket will die. And look, I think it will be the last Guardians, but you will see the Guardians filtered through different movies and shows. Like, you'll still see the Guardians, or there will be a new movie called The New Guardians.
Mm-hmm. It would be very unwise for them to totally get rid of the Guardians. I think they are the fact. Well, and the fact that they put them in Thor, they gave them their own short. They've given them another film. Also, Rocket. The one thing I was going to mention, Rocket even says in this at the very end when we see the end credits, and he's like, "Oh Christ, we're going to have another special then." So it kind of feels like they've already agreed another special. So I'm I feel like I don't think they can end it. But just thinking about it, Groot. What did we think of Groot?
Oh,
Oh,
so good.
I
The
know.
biggest fan, like groupie to any band. Like, he's just there rocking out. Yeah.
I love that. I also love how he's like to Stalin. Oh, I don't agree. You don't agree? He just reeled him out, smiling. Oh, I hate Groot. But
So
I like
funny.
how he's growing back to how he was almost in the first movie. Like I like how he's almost back.
Yeah, he's like a stacked older teenager at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
It's a proper stacked Groot. It's hilarious.
Jack.
He's like fucking massive. Oh no, what the fuck?
It's like they flattened him a bit, didn't they? They just brought him out wide.
Yeah, it's so dope.
That's how
I love
trees
it.
grow. Yeah, you look all right.
Yeah.
And where's Bucky's arm? Did Bucky,
Yeah, how
did
did
Bucky
how did
just
Rocket get that?
But also, did you get the joke of that though? What I think is a joke, because
No,
in
go on.
in
from
every,
Infinity
in
War?
it, no, it's the ongoing Rocket joke, isn't it? So Rocket always asks for like a limb, doesn't he? In the first film, he got like someone's
Yeah.
leg, and in the second
gonna
film,
get
he
that
wants
leg.
someone. Yeah. So I think it's got to be part of that as well, right? I'm assuming it's
Yeah,
just an
that's it.
ongoing.
Yeah.
That's it.
I just like how he's like, it's Bucky's arm. He's taking the poor Bucky's arm.
Genius. But
No, I did,
Nebula.
yeah. And they bought nowhere. Did you notice that too? In the opening line, oh shit, what's the blue chick? Oh my god, just fully escaped me. Gamora's sister, Nebula.
Nebula, yeah.
Yeah, she says that they bought nowhere. So ever since we bought nowhere and started fixing everything up. So yeah, ever since we bought nowhere from the collector.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I was like, because I rewind that back and I was like, oh, so the collector didn't die. I thought he died.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to show that, haven't they? They've got to address that in the third one, right?
Surely, because the last thing we saw of the collector was that he was a dream, or like he was a reality in Infinity War, and then nowhere was on fire. So you didn't know if you actually killed him or not. So yeah, that's me looking way too far into it, going, oh, that's right, this is a Christmas special.
Just enjoy Kevin Bacon for fuck's sake, Lee.
I know. Stop reading between everything. Just enjoy the show. And do we all like Kevin Bacon? Oh, do we like that Batman is currently now canon?
Yeah, what was that? That must have been a James Gunn kind of like, well, I'm heading up DC. I'm throwing in Batman, mate. I'm sorry, I'm taking this audience. Yeah, it's clever.
Fucking incredible.
I liked it.
That is very good. Yeah, I thought Kevin Bacon is such a good character for that Guardians world. He just suited it. Like it just works so well. I found it hilarious. And like Drax just going straight in his window. I'm gonna go to the police. Hello.
Yeah, hello. And apparently, actors are the most disgusting people on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. But apparently,
so hard.
You are disgusting to the galaxy. You're horrible people. Like, how dare you pretend to be someone else?
That whole scene between Mantis, Drax, and Kevin when they're on the ship, and she's like, yeah, but you're a superhero, and he's like, no, I played a part, and Drax is like, oh, you're nothing. Oh, and literally, that whole scene was fucking brilliant. It was so good. It was like, no, yeah, but you played that other part, right? Like you did that though. No, that was a part.
No. I like how he's like, I'm pretty excited about this, and Drax is like, we hate you. Like, just looking him in the eye, like, we hate you.
And then it's wrapped up even better with the with Nebula's line at the very end where she goes, "I fucking hate actors" or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Close up of her, like, and she swears, and I was like, yes,
Yeah. Freaking hate actors. No, that was so good. But no, this was an excellent special. And I love where we found out how he got his guns. How we
Oh
find
yes, yeah.
out.
Yeah, what did
because
you think
I-
about that kind of animation with the Yondu bits?
Look, I think they could have done better with the animation personally. I get what they were going for, but I thought it could be a little bit better. I do like the fact that Mickey Rourke just came back to voice, just to voice the character.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, Mickey Rourke even came back to do the What If series as well. So I'm glad that he's still, even though he died how many years ago, he's still coming back to do the character.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just love that they showed us how he got his guns. That they came from Yondu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
brilliant.
I know why they did the animation. I would have just preferred to have seen it in live action. You know, just as a flashback, it would have been fine. But like, I get why they've done it as an animation for the Christmas special. So yeah,
You know, like Once Upon a Time or the night before Christmas. You know, everything's silent in the night.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed it.
has this made you Galaxy 3 now?
100%. Oh my god, yes.
I'd be excited anyway, Lee, mate. It's by far the best fucking thing in the MCU, mate. I'd be excited if you told me there was gonna be a 5-minute episode. That was the last thing I was ever gonna see. I'd be like, I'm game. I'm there, mate. Give me a 2-minute episode. I'll pay 20 quid. Beautiful.
All good.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to bring this up this episode. However, I did see someone comment this earlier, which I thought was a really good point. Is we've got 2 Marvel specials this year that have completely nailed it out of the park. Not a Disney Plus show, but a special, and both the CGI has been on point, and both the story has been great. So, would you like to see more of these one-off specials?
Yes, absolutely. I think the way they present it, and the fact that it's, you know, the TV series is something like, you've got to commit to this, you've got to do it, and the presentation, it allows you to go, this is a standalone thing. I'm going to enjoy this for what it is. Boom. That's even just calling it a Marvel presentation. You as a fan go, I know what I'm going to be getting from this. You know, yes, I would easily.
Yeah. 100% agree. I think what I really enjoyed about this is that it's unashamedly like Christmas orientated. What really annoys me is when it's a holiday special, but it's like we want to try and do everything we can to not point that out. It's just like a weird we're sure that we're worrying about the characters and the story more than I'm like, no, you've called it a holiday special, so make it about the holidays or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only weird thing about Die Hard is it does everything it can to not be a Christmas film, but it is a Christmas film. I'm like, well, what's the bullshit got to be about? You're identified as a Christmas movie, be a Christmas movie. It's fine.
I know. I don't know why Bruce Willis used to always say, "Oh, it's not a Christmas movie." I'm like, dude, it's based.
It is.
It's based on Christmas. I think either the day before. I think it is on Christmas Eve. I could be wrong, which I remember thinking that's really weird to have a Christmas party. But look, it's the late 80s, so there's a lot of weird movies going on, like how the news reporter, his daughter's house, goes in and starts asking the daughter questions. I'm like, yeah, it's 80s for you. But you're right. And I think, Marvel's really nailed it with both their 2 specials. What the plot is and what the synopsis is and what you're getting into is perfectly nut in that 1 hour or 45 minutes or whatever you want to call in that space of time. They've nailed that. And I can't wait to see what specials that we're going to get next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Same. So, guys, I want to say I really appreciate you guys staying on for 2 hours. That is incredible. It has not felt like 2 hours talking to you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Looked at the time. That's gone so quick.
I know. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I just thought that the little timer clock over to 2 hours. I was like, oh shit!
Oh, how dare!
God damn. So I want to say thank you very much. And for everyone listening in and watching, please go check out these guys. They're going places. And their podcast is fantastic. And I can't wait for them to open their merch store because I'll be the first one to buy a shirt. I'll be the first one to buy all that.
Thank you so
Oh,
much
thanks
for
for having
having
us.
us on. It's you got an amazing podcast here, Lee, mate, and yeah, big hello to all of everyone listening. It's been
Yeah,
great.
big hello. Yeah, thank you, Lee, mate. And as well, just massive shout out to you. Like you're a pioneer in the podcasting community, and it is a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us, dude.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Any final words?
Just let's kick some Marvelous next year. Come on.
Yeah.
5, let's go.
I'm ready.
Let's wait for Ant-Man to die. Hang on, what? Shit. All right, guys. As always, thank you very much. And for everyone listening, happy ranting.